Somers here with Scott Stoltz, episode 2 of our podcast, Without a Name. What we do know is we're talking AI, all things AI, and how to best integrate it into your life and into your organization if you're leading an organization, managing teams, or maybe just a family.
I think we should get extra credit for not leaning into AI to name our podcast we just started.
I'm
How about
telling you.
that?
Yeah.
We could have taken the easy way out and done that. But no, it's great to be back here with you, Patrick. These are not only fun discussions, but very meaningful. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time on a topic that we know is very important to leaders, decision makers, executives, business owners like yourself. And we have a tool out there on the takecontrolai.com website. It's a leadership assessment, which, by the way, anybody on the team can take. It's not just for a leader in a position of leadership or management to take, but getting a read on what's going on in your organization is really critical in today's environment because it's still AI so new. So getting a read and getting more clarity on how people are thinking, feeling, where they're headed, those who work with you and for you in your organization is really critical. I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah, it's and when you said you can take it, you have people on your team take it. I've had a lot of people at general air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical, and so I had all the leadership team take it. And the next phase, I'm going to have I've had some of the team take it, but eventually we're going to have all of our technicians take it, all of our CSRs take it, all of our admin take it, because the challenge that we get into, what I'm finding, and this is why. As we talked in episode 1, why are we doing this? And this is kind of my experience with it. We have technicians in the field and we have AI that can make their job so much smoother and easier in many scenarios. And there's such a reluctance to use it. And so my big question has been, wait, is there a reluctance because they don't understand it?
Mhm.
Is there a reluctance because they don't trust it? Or is there a reluctance because is it ego? Like, I don't need a machine to tell me what to do. So I've been trying to why is there seems to be this resistance to it and why? And in fact, in the assessment, one of the questions talks about, what is your team? Are they resistant to it? Are they afraid of it? And some of those questions came from my own personal experiences trying to get it. And we've got, 70 some employees here, team members. I don't like it, the term employees,
Yeah.
right? But we have 70 some team members here. And so I've got a pretty good sized pool to kind of understand um, what's going on. Is there reluctance? And if there's reluctance, why? And is it because of a lack of understanding, fear, a lack of know-how? Go in the sense of I don't need this. I'm good enough. And if that's the case, that opens up a whole nother question because if I don't need it, I'm good enough. It's not a question of are you good enough. Where can you save yourself time? Right. Anyways,
One of the many benefits, but I think I told you saving time, one of the many benefits of these tools, but I think I told you both of these. Two quick anecdotes, because I think setting the table and the path of where we're going in today's conversation is really important. And I know this exists. It may not exist in your organization, but chances are it does, and or people are struggling with this in their work and their business. Quick anecdotes. I was recently in the parking lot in Scottsdale, Arizona, somewhere I was visiting, and I saw an HVAC tech. And as he was getting in his truck, I just said hi and asked him a question. And the question I asked him was, "Hey, how much are you using AI in your role?" He said he was. He said he definitely was. He didn't explain too in depth how. But I followed up and I said, "So is everybody? Are all the techs in the field leveraging AI?" He's like, "No." He didn't even hesitate. He said, "No, I like to use it for a couple things, but most of the guys aren't using it." Another conversation I had recently, and there's a point to me sharing this. Another conversation I had with somebody who's in more of a traditional corporate type job said that it's very sporadic in his office too, that he knows a couple of people that are using it, but they're using it when they choose, not when the organization chooses. So why am I sharing this? There's inconsistency out there. There's organizations where they don't know, or in some cases they do know, but only a couple of employees or team members are using it. That's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing per se, but that's why we're here. How are we going to help leaders, execs, decision makers, and owners get more consistency in the organization as to how these tools are being used? You, of all people, I think when I told you one of these stories, one of the first things you told me was, here's how we have to manage it. And it starts something as simple as what kind of license you're using.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's one of the questions that I had early on. One that I asked myself, like, okay, people are going to be using AI. And I have some in the organization that like they use AI, but I'm like, well, what are you using? And they tell me, I'm like, well, is it a free version or paid version? Because some of the free well, it's open AI, right? But if you get some of the paid versions, then your data is protected. And so I'm like, man, you have my thought went more global. Like you have all these companies out there that if they're not using AI, if they haven't like created a implementation and policy and procedure around
Mm,
AI, then you have people freelancing with it. And okay, and that's a good thing because now you got people that are actually
there is
using
good
it.
to that, yeah.
However, they're putting proprietary data, and depending on what department it is, financials, right? Process, procedure, all of these things that are could be proprietary to your organization are going into OpenAI, which it's gonna learn from, right? And do you have safeguards around that? Do you have controls around that? And so if you're listening to that and you're like, "I didn't even think about that," or "No, we don't," or hey, that's exactly why I don't like AI. That's not that belief system is not gonna get you too far. But those are just some of the nuances that surround something like AI and using it in business.
So much nuance. And, you're going to hear me say this a lot. It just is reality that, I've been starting to say the term more and more people driving AI or people's impact on AI. This is great examples because we ultimately do control as good as the technology is, and everybody can make the arguments about how much faster, better, and stronger it is than 100 or 1,000 human brains. One of the tools in and of itself may be, and that's probably true. But ultimately, don't we have the decision making power, and don't we want to keep that decision making power, not from an ego perspective, but more from this is what's going to set the business and our path up for ultimate success. So that's why you and I, we talked a little bit about our why in episode one. Why are we doing this? Patrick and I definitely both believe that it's really important for people in organizations. I mean, what you do with it on your own time, that's a whole other story. And I'm pretty into that too, but we're more here for the businesses and organizations and companies. Wouldn't you want to see, part rhetorical, there to be alignment with you and your team members? Wouldn't you want to see alignment amongst the team members themselves so that when they're in groups or departments together, that they're consistent, that they know, hey, these folks over here are working. It's new, it's year one, but maybe in 3 months we're going to have some results, some test results that we can take to leadership and management, and then we'll diagnose those ourselves, and then we'll see how we can leverage this tool more or maybe a little bit less. There's a lot of fun ways you can do this. That is giving people, empowering people to experiment a little bit that though the ultimate goal is that you always like to use the term we're heading in the same direction, Patrick. You can all be heading in the same direction without knowing what all the outcomes are yet.
Correct. And that is so in order to head in the same direction, you need to know what direction you're heading, right? And that's I always say as a CEO, my job is to point to where we're going on the map, make sure everybody understands why we're going there and the benefits of going there. And then the team needs to drive, right?
Yes.
And I also relate myself to I think a good leader is like the gutter guards when you see kids bowl at the bowling alley, they put the gutter guards down so the ball can't go in the gutter. And I said, "I'm the gutter guards. Your job is to bowl strikes, right? You bowl strikes, I'll keep you out of the gutter." And so when it comes to AI, I think that really is impactful to look at it that way because you can get in the gutter really easy with technology. And so you gotta know the direction you're heading, and you gotta be all rowing in the same direction. Well, how do you do that if you don't know where your team is at? And that's one of the reasons we came up with the assessment. Because if you go in there and you take that assessment, and then especially it becomes more powerful the more people you can get on in your organization to take it. But if you take it just on your own, it's gonna give you a good idea of where you think the team is, what the issues are, and then it's gonna give you kind of some suggestions that you need to focus on. However, if you get your team taking it, now they're actually answering it based on, well, yeah, what they think, but what they're experiencing as well. And what kind of tools are they using? And are they using them in work at all? Now you're getting a real good picture of your organization. And what you're going to find, because I'm finding it in our organization, is when it comes to AI, everybody's rowing in the wrong direction. Some aren't rowing at all. And some are rowing us backwards. Right.
Possibly.
But but that's okay because it's new technology. It's something new in the organization, and not everybody understands it. You know, and here's one of the things. There's a professor out there. Um, And I was listening to him the other day, and he's explaining what AI is. And then he was explaining specifically ChatGPT. And I'm like, if somebody is listening to this, they're going to think all AI does is grab information from the internet and then hallucinate. I mean, literally, I was like, this is one of the worst explanations I've ever heard. Now, what he was saying had a lot of factual components to it, but the way he described it, I was like, man, if I knew nothing about AI and I heard this, I'd be like, "Oh, why would I use this?" And so that's why everybody's going in different directions because not everybody's getting their information from the same place. The information they're getting is not consistent, and that's why it's really important for business owners and leaders to control the message and drive the messaging.
That topic is I feel I have very strong feelings of usually, Patrick, I would think you would agree with this, so I usually pretty light and looking down the path of opportunity and optimism with these topics that we talk about. That particular topic I feel very strongly about, and I think we need to dedicate an entire episode to it, the narratives that are out there. I think I'm gonna generalize a little bit across the spectrum, but I think too many people are doing a horrible job of framing AI. I see it from tech leaders. I certainly see it from politicians. I see it from bureaucrats. I see it from media and social media influencers. It's really bad. And it's bothering, it's bothersome to me because not because I think I know better, but because you and I have seen better. We know the opportunities this technology can bring. And so it does upset me to see so many people positioning and communicating poorly about AI. We're going to talk about that a lot in the future. Back to some of the, as Patrick was saying around the survey. So, as a leader, when you have, again, more clarity and understanding of what's going on in your organization, we're definitely talking to you if this is you. If you walk into a conference room or a meeting and you're unsure of how and what you're going to say to your team about AI, this program and everything Patrick and I are doing is for you. If you walk into a meeting, even a one on one, and you're not really sure how you're going to inspire or connect with that team member of yours around AI and every initiative that you have going with it, this program and initiative is for you. And honestly, even if you feel you have your hands around a lot of that stuff, this program's still for you. Because one of the things we're going to be doing, I wanted to work with Patrick in large part because of the many things we described in episode one. But as a business owner, man, you bring a ton of credibility to this because you live it every day. I don't have so many people in an organization that are working with and for me. Patrick does. But even if you feel you have your arms around this and communicate well, you're still going to learn things, whether it's through us or guests or not. Because here's the last thing, we have a 12 to 18-month runway. You have grace right now. You don't have to get everything right. You have plenty of time to make some mistakes, to see this isn't going to work. This might work okay over here, and to go with your team forward in that direction, knowing you're all in learning stages. But if you wait 2 years, I think you're going to be behind.
Yes, yes, and here's the deal. Right now, people that are adapting and learning to use AI now, they're gonna have and they do have a competitive advantage. But like anything, that competitive advantage only lasts so long because eventually everyone will be using it. But you can catapult yourself with this strategic advantage right now. But eventually it's like websites, right? And the internet and all of that. Companies that could get into that early it got to a point where they had a competitive advantage. Now, the competitive advantage is figuring out how to be just a tiny bit better in
Mhm.
your SEO than somebody else, which here's a whole whole 'nother topic, on AI, and we will get into this. The typical search and SEO is going away. I have an organization right now, uh, a company that all they do is work to make us discoverable by AI, not a Google search. I mean, yeah, Gemini and stuff, but what is AI? What are the AI models looking for when someone says, "Find me an air conditioning repair business"? AI is looking for totally different things out there than what somebody Google is currently
Right.
doing for a website and whatnot. And so what you're gonna see it's not gonna be long. I predict it's gonna be less than 2 years. You're gonna have AI models calling our business, talking to our AI agents, and booking calls without human beings being involved. Now, does that mean that, well, I won't have human beings in here? No, we'll definitely have human beings in here. We're still gonna make those confirmation calls. We're still gonna want to outbound. Not everybody's gonna search that way, right? but there will be a time where
That's happening.
language models are talking to each other and taking care of everything in the background because I'm going to have go to my phone, I'm going to go to my AI, I'm going to say I need air conditioning repair near me. That's going to go out. It's going to
Yes.
find the most discoverable company that meets the things that it knows about me that I'm looking for. It's going to have access to my calendar and my schedule, and it's going to go ahead and book everything that I need, and then it's going to make sure I'm reminded and followed up and everything's set all in the background. So this isn't a choice. Well, it is a choice. Everything's always a choice. Let me rephrase that. But this ship has set sail. It's just a question of are you going to set sail too? Have you set sail with it? Because it's coming. It's here.
It's here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're here for the people who have either already started to set sail or about to, because there's so much involved. And you and I both know this. One of the last points I'll make is I can appreciate this. You know, people have so much going on. Patrick knows that I used to advise business owners. It's one of the ways that he and I connected and built our relationship. And one of the things I learned in the time I was doing that, where I was advising and supporting multiple business owners, was the reality. So on the one hand, you have this is what you should do. And then on the other hand, you have the actual day to day with the 18, 19 things that come up and or that they had built in already to do. And they may get to one, this is another nice thing you should add. So we understand that about people. But I think what we both see is that AI can help. AI is it's stronger than a supplement. You were using that analogy earlier off the air. It's stronger than a supplement, but man, is it something that if you leverage it the right way, it's going to help make life better, easier, more productive. I love the word amplify. I'm hearing that a lot. I don't know if you are. AI is going to help you amplify your skills and what you're great at. It's going to help your team do the same, and it's going to help your business thrive.
Yes. Yes. With that said, we're going to wrap up our second episode of our No Name podcast, talking all things AI. Hey, listen, if you're tuning in and you like the show, you like what you're hearing, or you at least feel there's some potential in us, we would really appreciate you liking the show and sharing the show. Leave us a comment. That's always appreciated. Go check out takecontrolai.com. Go ahead, sign up for our newsletter. We're not going to bombard you and try and sell you things. We're going to give you useful information, tools you can use. We're going to share with you the things that we do that are working for us, what we've struggled with, what we've kind of mastered, so to speak. And feel free to take the assessments as well. It's going to give you a lot of good insights into yourself and your organization if you have your team take it. So that's takecontrolai.com. My good friend, Scott Stoltz. I'm Patrick Somers. Until next time, stay connected.